In the heart of South America, a leader once hailed as the protector of his nation stands accused of betraying it. Nicolás Maduro, the man who led Venezuela into an economic abyss, now faces the wrath of the world. His rise to power was filled with promises of revolution, but behind the facade lies a trail of corruption, violence, and drug trafficking. This is the true story of a man who went from president to criminal mastermind. From the streets of Caracas to the courts of international justice, Maduro's name has become synonymous with scandal, betrayal, and death. But what happens when a nation's leader is accused of the very crimes he promised to eradicate? In 2013, Maduro took the helm of Venezuela following the death of his mentor, Hugo Chavez. Maduro, a former bus driver turned trade union leader, quickly ascended the political ladder, playing a key role in Chavez's Bolivarian revolution. His rise seemed like the natural continuation of a movement aimed at empowering the poor and defying Western influence. But while he preached socialism and anti-imperialism, Maduro's actions told a different story. His leadership, however, would soon be marked not by revolution, but by chaos. Under Maduro's reign, Venezuela's economy spiraled into crisis. Hyperinflation, skyrocketing poverty, and scarcity of basic goods turned the once prosperous nation into a nightmare for its citizens. Basic necessities like food, medicine, and even toilet paper became impossible to find. The country's oil wealth, once a source of pride, was now a curse, mismanaged and siphoned off by those in power. As his people suffered, Maduro's regime grew more brutal, using the military and security forces to suppress dissent. Those who dared to speak out were imprisoned, tortured, or silenced forever. But the true depths of Maduro's corruption were only beginning to surface. The crown jewel of Venezuela's economy, the state-run oil company PDVSA, became the center of massive corruption. Billions of dollars were stolen, funneled into the pockets of Maduro and his closest allies. And it didn't stop there. In 2018, the U.S. government charged Maduro and other Venezuelan officials with drug trafficking, accusing them of turning Venezuela into a narco-state. They allegedly facilitated the movement of massive cocaine shipments from South America to the U.S., using the country's ports, airports, and political influence to avoid detection. The world watched in horror as Maduro's grip on power tightened. In response, the United States and other nations imposed harsh sanctions, freezing his assets and restricting his government's ability to conduct international business. Maduro, however, remained defiant, accusing the West of imperialism, while the Venezuelan people continued to suffer. Despite mounting evidence of his involvement in corruption and human rights abuses, Maduro's government remained unshaken until 2019, when the U.S. government placed him on their wanted list for his alleged role in drug trafficking. A $15 million bounty was offered for his capture. Maduro's strength lay not just in his political control, but in his alliance with the military. The Venezuelan armed forces, the backbone of his government, stood by him through thick and thin, ensuring that his power remained unchallenged. But as international pressure mounted, the walls began to close in. His regime's brutality continued to escalate. In 2017, the military was unleashed on opposition protesters, resulting in hundreds of deaths. Yet, despite global outrage, Maduro's inner circle remained loyal, their grip on power unyielding. But as the global spotlight grew brighter, so did the push to hold Maduro accountable. The United States and the International Criminal Court have long called for justice, with accusations of crimes against humanity and narcotics trafficking hanging over his head. And while his arrest remains uncertain, the evidence against him is overwhelming. If Maduro were to be arrested, it would be a turning point for Venezuela, a moment that could reshape the future of the nation. But one thing is certain, the arrest of Nicolás Maduro would send shockwaves through the political world and mark the end of an era of unchecked power and corruption. As the Venezuelan people continue to fight for a better future, the question remains, can Venezuela rise from the ashes of corruption and oppression? Will Maduro face justice for his crimes, or will he continue to escape the long arm of the law? The story of Nicolás Maduro is far from over, but the fall of a dictator is inevitable. The only question left is whether it will be the people of Venezuela who bring him to justice, or whether the world will step in before it's too late. What do you think will happen to Nicolás Maduro? Will he face justice, or will he escape punishment like so many others before him? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more true crime analyses. Stay tuned for more stories of crime, corruption, and justice.